$200 reward. Run away from the subscriber.
$200 reward.
Run away from the subscriber. Meet your city.
Welcome, beloved, to this edition of Hear, O Yah, Is I Is or Is I Ain't, your brother, Gidon ben Yashara'al. Where's all the children's at? Hurry up and get them children's. Where's Big Mama? Where's Pawpaw? Go out into the highways and the byways and bring all the kinfolk around the television set. Why? Because we have a special. That's right, we have a special program designed specifically with you in mind. But of course, the views and opinions expressed are those of me, a po-colored country boy by way of Israel, and the panelist that Yah has set, but not those of COMCAST, their management, advertisers, or affiliates. Today's program title, yes, there is a mature verbiage alert. That's right. Sometimes we deal with mature subject matter and we use mature language. Today's program title, Organic Farming on Local Lands. Organic farming on local lands. And the very inspiration for this particular title, my beloved brother Asiero is en route, coming from a long distance, and because of the weather, he may not make it to the show proper, but his spirit is here. And when we talk about our children and foods, obviously our hearts go out to the loss of life all over the world, not just in Connecticut, in Libya, over the world, in Africa, in Ethiopia, which is a part of Africa, Asia, Indonesia, death and pillage all over the world. Our hearts go out for loss. But of course, in Cincinnati, there was a tragic event, one that our people have rehearsed far too many times. But the innocent loss of life of children is something that we never get used to. But when it's done, when the assailant is one of the nation's own people of oppression, a white supremacist male killing his own, it lets you know that the time has come for a change in thought, a change in the way we do things, a change in the way we deal with spirituality. You know, also when we deal with change, genetically modified foods, how many of you have heard about that they're getting ready to experiment with the salmon and the eel to genetically unite the two organisms to create one, because they said it's going to enhance the food supply. Why? Because they are destroying the other food because of overfishing. What we find, the scientists seem to think that they have the answers to the creator's issue of how we're going to eat and how we're going to live the rest of our lives on the planet, where there's a natural way and there's a scientific way. These genetically modified salmon are going to be released into your food source, which we already have genetically modified cattle, as well as the chickens as well, and other organisms that we are ingesting. This has an impact on our environment at large and ultimately on us. And finally, in Key West, Florida, they have this fever called Dengue fever that they thought was eradicated. But 93 people have come down with dengue fever. And what did the scientists say we need to do in order to eradicate or fight this re-emerging travesty? Well, they say we need to genetically modify mosquitoes. It's the female that bites, so they're going to genetically modify the males, release them into the environment, so when they mate with the females, they'll be sterile, and they will ultimately destroy what they're saying is a scourge. But what other ripple effect will that have in our ecosystem? The predator-prey relationship, where we think we're at the top of the food chain and something as small as a mosquito certainly couldn't affect us, right? Wrong. We're all interrelated. And you can find the reason of that in Ezekiel chapter 1. That will give you. But let's read. I want to go into Psalms chapter 134, I believe it is. That's what it is. Psalms chapter 137. And I want to read this short chapter to you. And this has been all due respect to the people in Cincinnati and all over the world where there's death and hunger and disease. But the Creator told you about this nation and what was going to happen. Psalms 137. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down. Yes, we wept when we remembered Zion. We hanged our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof. For there they that carried us away captive required of us a song. And they that wasted us required of us mirth, saying, sing us one of those songs of Zion. How shall we sing Yah's song in a strange land? If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her cunning. If I do not remember thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. If I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy. Remember, O Yah, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, destroy it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth you as you have reserved us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth your little ones against the stone. Our hearts go out to the loss of life, of innocent life. And as you saw your president for the first time shed a tear when in Chicago and all across this country, our children have been being killed, beaten, jailed without due process, but he didn't shed one tear then. But we're not like them. Our heart goes out to the lost. All right, and now to this powerful panel, but before we do, we're going to go to break. When we come back from break, we're going to go to this powerful panel and keep in mind organic farming on local lands. We'll be right back.
The sun peeked over the horizon as the day broke wide and free. I lay here hoping that the night taught our lessons and the day brings blessings and change. That I find answers for our guessing game and success stops looking so strange. Should I mention that I piece may forward another time, like when our wallet feels less stress? Now this mess got I sizing separated fantasies. Got I wishing I wasn't dipping freedom's wishes in these dishes mixed with witches. Wide awake and hoping, separated, desperate and groping. See the situation far surpassing imagination. Are you grasping the sensation of falling out of time? Stay a while and fantasize. Determine if you criticize the weight, the desperation got you chasing. Not to mention the abrasion of nearly grazing near your family tree. It's a disease that's inherent from line to line. So I have to check myself from time to time and see if black fire is satisfied to see a limited sunrise. Grief done to the mourning child, born of scorn for dormant eyes that failed to see past the passion of lonely lust. And forgot to trust intuition back to the
And we are back. And to this powerful panorama chill, let Lord have mercy, lo and behold, the Creator has fashioned in the semblance of this heavenly body. It is a beautiful princess, and her name is Mrs. Chocolate. She is the CEO of Chocolate Deluxe, TV producer, and radio director. Welcome to the Hear O Yah program.
Welcome.
Miss Chocolate. All right. And to her right, it is royalty on the set. You already know who he is. It is the powerful, the wisdom, Prince ZEBEKIYAH. Peace and blessings to you. And to my left, go ahead and introduce. We have another beautiful family in the studio, the children of Yah, a beautiful, powerful family. Introduce yourselves, please.
I'm Rico.
Shalom, I'm Clementine.
Shalom, I'm Deja.
Excellent. Welcome to the Hear O Yah set. You know, I want to come to you, Chocolate, because this is what everybody asks what we do and what we do it for. Yow! We work in the studio because for me, it is the work for the Creator. It is what I do to give back to the community. He's put me in a position to where people in the community like yourself can come and be on the show and talk about what they do to give back to the community. First of all, what brought you to television, and why is it that you wanted to be the CEO of an entertainment enterprise?
Well, basically, growing up, I had a dream that I wanted to produce my own TV show, and manage a whole lot of different talent in the industry. And by the grace of God, Jah, He had blessed me with those talent he connected me with a whole lot of different people in the industry, from, big labels to local. And, since then I've been striving to do what my heart desire, and that's my TV show, my radio show.
Well, who's your inspiration? I mean, what is it that you saw that like, oh man, this is me. This is what I want to do?
Dr. Dre and Ed Lover.
Okay.
They was my inspiration. Growing up, I was 12 years old, wasn't supposed to be in the club, but hey, I don't tell nobody. But I was 12 years old, and back then it was all about you doing big things, you can get your foot in the door. So back then I was doing real big things. And
at 12?
At 12.
We talk about street big things, huh?
Yeah. So I was doing real big things,
Right.
But I was doing stuff that helped me get through the door. And just so happened that Dr. Dre and that Lover was doing a event, and they had their own club in Lewisburg, North Carolina.
Right.
So, I was there watching them do their thing, and it was like, yes. And then my love for music, I love music.
Okay.
So it was like, I had to have a piece of it.
Okay. And that's right. Now, I want to talk, because obviously you got to be real, and we're going to get to Prince. In the music industry today, there are a lot of different paradigms, and the images of people like my age are saying that the youth don't really have a focus, their music doesn't have meaning, like the Temptations, OJs, Stylistics, Delphonics, when we go back from whence y'all came from. What do you see in music today? And the young people, what is the focus that they are connecting with in music today?
Well, basically, everybody is giving in and copying what's hot now. And
I'm saying, is there something other in music that you see other than getting that paper?
Yeah, it's basically to help, my inspiration is to help others to get further, because there's so many people out here that do a whole lot of grimy business, and people get messed over through the industry. So, a person like me that's good-hearted and try for the people to make sure that they are going
Treated
to
fairly,
and
right.
going through the right steps to make it and to be successful in their career.
But isn't that like politicians going into government trying to change a corrupt system? when they get in, they find out you can't change the beast. The beast gonna change you, or you have to get in, get yours, and get out.
Well, they haven't changed me yet, and I've been my own leader.
Okay.
You know, people always come to me for help from like Big Cat Records, a whole lot of big labels that I don't work with. I can name them all, from B-Boy Records. I don't help a whole lot of people get signed deals that, you know, deserved it. And, you know, sometimes when you think they deserve it, they might, you know, stab you in the back. But hey, you live and you learn and you keep going.
So if someone wanted to get in touch with you about your management skills and so forth, is there a way they could do that?
Oh yes, they can Google me. My company is all over the map. They can get in contact with me through my email, Chocolate Deluxe Chocolate Deluxe Entertainment at gmail.com.
Again, so people that are trying to write it down, slow it down, and again, they can contact you how?
Through Chocolate Deluxe ENT at gmail.com. And they can also reach me at my contact number if they you know, don't have internet or have access to a computer. They can reach me at 678-412-8185.
Slow it down one more time.
678-412-8185.
Now, Prince, when we look at our condition today, you and I are not surprised at what we saw in Connecticut. We're becoming desensitized to violence in America in general because it's gang related from the top to the bottom up in this piece. When we talk about this violence and Europeans acting it out on themselves and their own progeny, what if they'll do it to their own, what they gonna do for us?
Gidon, you know, when we look at this whole scene and the fact that we've gotten away from the direction that the Creator created us to be in.
Yes, sir.
The Creator promised even us that we'd be placed in a situation where our children will be being killed. If you read Deuteronomy, you read Leviticus, and it tells you about this situation. See, I will turn you over to a reprobate mind. So now, even our enemies or those oppressors who have brought us here to this land, right, they are going through the same type of situation now because they have allowed it to go on so long. Now the hand is being turned back on them, okay? And you see it in all the schools. You see the last few situations, you know, schools, the movies. This is only letting you know what time it is.
Exactly.
For everybody to want to cry out for the Creator. And the Creator, knowing that the only God, the Creator, could change your situation. So what this is telling us, even with what happened in New York with the hurricane, right? All this is giving us, to wake us up, give us a shock, things that we've been seeing. So Yah is letting us know, okay, it's time to get back in focus with Him. We see two occasions here the other day, during the hurricane. Here they took a truck, right? The truck went up and landed on top of a building, giving you back the idea back to the days of Noah, because that's almost what it was in New York.
Yes, sir. Yes,
all right.
Sir.
The other day, here's a guy gets up, lifted up in a truck in a tornado, and the truck lands down, right, on top of another truck, right, and the guy survived.
Wow.
Okay, so now this is, Yah is letting us understand. I don't want to kill you.
Right.
I want you to get your act together.
That's right.
I want you to return back to me. Okay? And in the pudding, I'm proving that I can do things, destructive things, and save you out of it.
That's, woo! Teach,
You know
Elder.
so
That's right.
This is what He required us to do. If we read Isaiah, the first chapter, my people, you know, they have gotten away from the instruction that they needed to understand.
Absolutely.
But He said, your sins, I can make white.
That's right.
I can change the situation, but you got to call on me. So, and what's happening is our ministers ain't directing people to the Creator. Most of them are directing them to a prosperity message.
And to the government, Barack gonna save us,
And
vote for him.
And the prosperity message, okay, prosper. If we prosper and we lose our soul,
Right.
what have we gained? Okay?
Teach.
So now if we're sitting out here prospering, and we got all that we have, homes and cars and stuff, and they kill our children.
Woo!
What have you gained?
Even an animal will protect its young.
Right?
And
So-
remember now, they just shot this other young man in Florida for his music being loud.
And now our system says, well, hey, let's create police force.
Exactly.
Right? But if you look at that police force that they talk about now, it goes back to Rome with the vigilantes.
That's
the
right.
vigilants, where they came together and stormed the streets.
Knights of Templar.
And Knights of Templar. They came and stormed the streets.
Yes,
that
sir.
ain't worked then. It ain't gonna work now. Okay? So our idea has to change. Our mindset's got to be, we got to reevaluate things and begin to approach life on a different aspect. Where we can't put it in our mind that there is not a creator.
Right.
Because number one, you're breathing.
Exactly.
You ain't create the air. Okay?
Teach.
You got a nose that the air goes through. There was a system formed to create that.
That's right.
Okay? So we have to acknowledge that there's a power greater than us. And the power has been leaving information, which we call the Torah, our life
Yes, sir.
string, to tell you, let's reconnect with the Creator.
That's right.
He came down personally. Okay, and he tried to let us understand, well, this is how I want you to act in this earth, so that you can prosper. I cause you to ride on the high places of earth according to how you observe the instruction that I give you.
You know, Elder, as we talk to the Hebrew family, obviously they are in tune for the most part with the biblical prophecies of what Yah said was going to happen to our people. But it's not just Hebrews that watch this program. So as we try to talk to the community of who may be non-believers, the believers Yah already got. It's the non-believers. What would you say in your development to give them hope?
Okay, first of all people belong to the Creator.
That's right.
See, and each time the Creator, you know, when Israel was given its works of its understanding, its knowledge,
Yes, sir.
by the Creator, was to bring the world into focus with the mistakes that they made, as well as how to reconnect.
That's right.
Says the whole earth is waiting on the salvation of the sons and daughters of God.
That's right.
So that means the sons and daughters of God got to be saved from somewhere.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so then it can't be our cousin, you know, the Israeli in Israel,
Yes, sir.
because they're not being saved from anything.
Exactly.
They're already there.
They trying
So
to
now-
fight other folk.
Right. So where's this people that's got to be saved?
Exactly.
That description is in Deuteronomy 28th chapter.
Yes, sir.
Tells you who the so-called American Negro are in this land,
Teach.
because that's the condition they're in.
Yes, sir.
So now, how do we approach them? We got to let them understand who they are.
That's right.
We got to make them understand that there's a power greater than them, and that this force is able to work on your behalf.
Now,
and on
can
behalf
we
of the world.
make them, or is it Yah that has to choose to select them to believe?
Well, Yah has to select them to believe, but He's already selected them.
Okay.
Okay, a long time ago.
Yes, sir.
All right, He chose them
Yes,
to
sir.
be what they're supposed to be.
Yes, sir.
They are the ones that turned away.
Right.
Say, well, I'm going this way. I'm gonna
Okay.
try it my way.
That's
you know,
right.
like Frank Sinatra.
That's
You understand? I'm gonna try it my way.
That's right.
So you tried it your way. Now you got to come back and try it my way,
Yah's way.
Yah's way,
That's
because that's
right.
the only way
That's-
that's going to get us out of the condition.
Let me go over here to this powerful family, because when we look at the circumstances of the condition in Connecticut, any of us that have children, obviously our hearts go out, but their hearts never went out for the starvation in Somalia, for what was going on in the Congo when they infected the children there with AIDS. Our people have been daunted with many attacks, chemical and physical. But when we look at a beautiful family, and you saw what happened as believers in Yah and the children of Yah, pick that mic up for me, my brother, and tell us, what are your thoughts as a father with your beautiful family right here with us today?
Well, first of all, I don't want to come across like I, am not sorry about what happened to that to that school, to those families. Nobody wants to receive that news. I'm looking at my daughter, I'm looking at my wife. I don't want to go through that at all. But America basically has brought this on themselves. You took the GOD out of the schools, and now the gun is in the schools. So if the Bible says if you live by the sword, you're going to die by the sword. In this case, it was a semi-automatic weapon, or a number of weapons. So we have to get back, like the elder was saying, we have to get back. Study. You have to study. You have to start reading. At least pick up the book and start reading. I'm not trying to say that I know everything, because I know very little, but I'm trying. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to change my ways.
Let your wife, and if your daughter would like to speak as well, what are your thoughts in this tragic situation? But that tragedy has been repeated for us over and over.
Yes, absolutely. And again, my condolences go out to all of those families. However, as you stated, this is a condition that our people are in constantly. And again, the only thing that I can encourage people to do is definitely return to the Most High Yah. Mm-hmm. That is our only salvation, our strength, our comfort.
That's right.
And again, both my kids are in the school systems.
Exactly.
They talk about increasing security throughout the Gwinnett County schools, which my kids attend. Mm-hmm. I find no comfort in that. And as a Hebrew Israelite, I find that I want to teach my kids at home. I want to ensure their safety. I want to ensure they know what's happening. Mm-hmm. But again, I teach them Torah, how to walk, how to live. Mm-hmm. And again, we've just returned to him. Mm-hmm. And each day is a walk back to him.
Praise. Now, if your daughter would like, if she doesn't, you don't have to, but we talk about elementary school children, and that's okay, sweetheart. You don't have to say anything. But when we saw that, many of our children have been impacted psychologically, and that psychological impact is not something that, see, when the Europeans get that impact, they want to talk about psychology and the impact of neuroses and trauma. But when it comes to us and our condition and circumstances over almost 400 years of captivity, that hasn't been said. And we haven't talked about that type of healing and cleansing. Tasha, we started off talking to you about, and Miss Chocolate, about the television. But I want to hear what your thoughts are about this incident in media and how, you're a mother. What do you think the impact, and what do you think we need to do to eradicate? Is there anything we can do?
Well, basically, I really feel that they should put prayer back in the schools, because that's, all kids need to be covered by him, by Allah. I have really faith and truly belief in him, because of the situations I done been through in life. So, I done been through trials and tribulations with my new TV show that I'm about to be producing, and, helping others get to their steps. But when it comes to the school systems and everything, they need to better protect the schools. Not put guns in schools, because that's not going to solve it. What's going to solve it is, getting back to the old school mentality where, where people have respect for each other. Because now people don't have respect for each other. Some of the kids now that's growing up, they're growing up too fast. You're having babies now.
But let me jump in here now. Remember, you said you were out in the street at 12, but look, the Most High brought you back around. So even though sometimes our people and the Messiah hung out with what was supposed to be the publicans and the sinners, that everybody, the holy rollers looked down on, but he brought some of them back.
Yeah, basically when I was 12 though, I can say that I wasn't out there.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I can say that, me basically, I can honestly say that I was out there because of certain situations that I had to survive, to take care of me. Because Definitely. I haven't had, I did have a mother and a father, but at the time, certain people, my father was a known kingpin, and my mother, we couldn't find my mother.
Right.
So, I had to survive for myself.
Let me just jump in here. Prince, and 770-559-2999. This is your program. You know that. We're building bridges to unity through the power of Yah and the spirit of his testimony in those who believe. Whether you believe or not, obviously we've had people who don't claim to believe in the spirit of Yah, but they've been on this program. Why? Because we don't choose him, he chooses us. Now, Elder, Al Sharpton, the politicians, what they've jumped on is that we need to have new gun laws. You know good and well America loves guns more than they do sex. So when it comes to guns, how are you going to get rid of something that they created this country at the smoking barrel of?
Gidon, in Israel, and I speak about Israel a lot because it's connected to the Torah, the police department came out of the priesthood.
Yes, sir.
So if anything they wanted to do right was go get these ministers out of the thing and make them the police.
Yes, sir.
Right? Because at least, even though they're in there,
it'll be pimping going on for real. No, I'm just joking.
Even though they are in their hierarchy, their seats.
The hierarchy,
right? They at least learn through their process of training.
True.
Some connection with what life is really about.
Well, morality, decency, honor,
right.
all of those things, principles of the spirit.
So if I was going to, rather than go and get guns, dealing with a gun situation, period,
right,
I'd go get the ministers who claim to be ministers.
Wow.
Right, and put them on their job.
That's right.
Right, which is their responsibility anyway in the community.
That's exactly right.
But see, they don't got so removed from it, they don't hire the police department.
Right.
Okay, to protect them.
That grew out of the vigilante groups that you were talking about earlier.
So but to straighten it out, you would have to take the ministry at least, like I said, they would have some principles.
Absolutely.
All right?
That's right.
And they would know something about the value of life. They weren't so quick to kill another person.
Exactly.
They learned to talk.
Right.
Of course, because they would understand that there's power in the
word.
Well,
we used to have beat cops that had grew up in the neighborhood, became police, and were sent back to those very neighborhoods. They stopped doing that.
That helped a great deal.
Absolutely.
But it would, like I say, it would be even much further that if Creflo Dollar,
that's right,
was head of the police department.
Him and TD and all of them, yes,
or
sir.
TD Jake.
Exactly.
Or,
what a novel thought.
Then we would have a new sense of direction because people would at least be learning two things. They'd be learning about God.
Exactly.
All right? And they also would be learning how to love and project that projection of morality.
But Whitey made sure that wasn't going to happen. What'd he say? There's a separation between church and state.
Little did they know. I question that period because this country was founded on
the church. So they tell us anyway. So they say.
Even though we may have a difference with Catholicism.
Right.
Spiritually, Catholicism has a morality, morality.
Absolutely, it does.
High above most.
Surely.
Right? Even the gangsters.
Yes.
Which we supposedly be thugs. Think that we are.
Right.
Right. If you went back to how gangsterism got started in this country.
Right.
It was supported by the church. They were into the church.
Exactly.
They kept the crime from their community.
Well, Mafia and the Roman Catholics are still
together.
Exactly. Mafioso.
So the mistake that's being made in our community is we've been thought, well, maybe this is the way out. But she was talking about kingpins and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Right? They think that that's the way out.
Exactly.
But that ain't really the way out.
Well, it's the underworld. It's the seedy world of the white.
Because one thing, they're not connected with a value system.
Exactly.
Okay.
Wait a minute now. Gangsters have a value system now.
But they don't have
the moral
fiber.
Exactly. Then they have codes, though. We do know. Yeah. You was in the gang.
They have. I'm not sitting here talking
as someone who don't know.
No. Exactly. Okay. But what I'm saying is, if we understand that even the Italian, they had a relationship with the Creator.
Absolutely.
All right?
Exactly.
They shot up maybe downtown and went back, or upper town,
right,
and went back to Little Italy,
right,
and went to church Sunday morning.
Exactly.
Okay, so their children, they made sure to protect their community.
Right.
Okay, and had their children go on to learn something higher, a higher morality.
They didn't want their children to come up
as they were.
Exactly. Now let me ask you about this, because I don't know how many of you guys heard. I talked about the mosquitoes, genetically modified mosquitoes. And again, 770-559-2999. I know y'all looking at the Falcons. What's the score? But some of y'all might want to call in and holler at your folks. Congress now is being lobbied because, as you well know, and maybe you haven't been informed, they have been using wireless text information. Remember the mayor of Detroit? He Kwame somebody, and he had his girlfriend on the side, and he was texting all that information. They use it in court. Well, now law enforcement lobbyists are lobbying the government to have wireless text messages kept on everybody for a minimum of 2 years.
Listen, if I got a camera on a satellite,
exactly,
or I'm down here and I got a camera that can look up into the solar system,
right,
see everything, stars and planets beyond planets.
Hubble,
don't you think that when they developed this was, they put a satellite up there, it's looking at everything down here?
That's right.
All right?
Right. Yes, sir. They say they can see a license plate, golf ball.
Every cell phone is tied into that system.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
And we walk around thinking we gangsters, we're chatting over the phone about it, and then wonder how we get busted. Huh? See, we're not using our sense. See, our people are destroyed for what? The lack of knowledge. We're not using any wisdom at all. Because all this is connected. I can't run nowhere.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
I'm here. They watch me every day. All of us.
Watching us right now, not quiet as it's kept.
But why?
Control.
So what we have to do is put our faith in the Creator, who sees everything before they understood how to create a camera to look at everything.
Absolutely.
Okay? His eye was recording every move you made.
They're mimicking the Creator. Let me go to this family. And when we talk about privacy in America, and you know, we got cameras on the streets, we got cameras in the suites. I mean, every keystroke of your computer is being cataloged, and now your text messaging. There's facial recognition. In the airport, they going beyond your face. They want to see what's in your physical structure. Yeah, they go out in your cavity and will have TSA physically search your cavities. Talk to us about America and where you see it going.
Basically, America has been telling us, like through Hollywood, they've been telling us what they want to do.
Exactly.
Like all the movies, all the Hollywood movies, The Matrix.
Yes. Teach.
Is basically real. You know, it's a reality. So everything is being fulfilled in prophecy.
That's right.
And if you don't understand what America is, according to the Bible, then you'll be doomed, you know, to your fate. So, you know, that's why, you know, we basically are trying to come out of her.
Right.
It says, come out of her, my people. We're trying to learn. We're trying to understand. We pray for more knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. But this country that we live in is the greatest power on the earth right now. So everybody says, but you know, all the organizations are proving it's not, you know, impossible to defeat.
What does it mean to you when you say coming out of her? Because many of our quote unquote blacks, when they hear that term, it's like, what do you mean? So as a novice in the Hebrew to a certain extent, when you say come out of her, what are you actually saying?
Basically, you need to understand that the life that you're living right now, it's all a lie. It's a deception. Everything around you, every single thing around you is a deception. And these traditions that you've been taught go back before slavery, before the slavery that we know, because as you said yesterday, slavery has been.
It never stopped.
It's never stopped for the Israelites.
Exactly.
Slavery has always been around for the Israelites. So, you can't just say it's just because of the white man, teaching us whatever from slavery, the Willie Lynch letters and all that. It's prophecy, basically. It's going to happen. But we need to understand that we have to stop doing these traditions. I can't even say the word coming up. The holiday coming up. The holiday is not a holy day.
Exactly.
There's a big difference. The days, the feasts, they're in the Bible. You need to read Leviticus. You need to find out what days you're supposed to be celebrating.
Leviticus 23, is it not?
23, the whole chapter. Read the whole chapter. None of these traditions, the Halloween, the Valentine's Day and all that kind of stuff, that's all something to get you distracted, to get your mind off of the Bible. We have to get back to it. And preferably, get to the Hebrew, because that's where it came from.
Anyone else? Go ahead.
Well, to come out of her, to me, again, not only just returning, not just saying, let me go to church, let me sit down in the church and listen to a lot of the lies, but what it means is returning back to the law, back to the culture of our people. And returning to that law means keeping the law. Well, first, understanding the law has not been done away with. There are not just 10 laws. How many are there?
613 laws, statutes. Yes, absolutely.
613. So that is returning to him, returning to that, and having a true love for the Most High and his laws.
Well, let me ask you this, though, before I let you go. That don't sound fun. You say return to the law. You know the children, when you said law, everybody and a lot of the adults start cringing. Let it go with that law thing. How do we make the law? The law is liberty. That's what we haven't been able to connect with. So when you say return to the law, does that mean we don't have together or parties? I mean, do Hebrews just sit up and read the law and look angry at each other or something? I mean, what's up?
Absolutely not. And we have a love for the law. Actually, there's more joy, as you said, liberty, true liberty with the law. What do you think?
Well, I mean, it really means just like they're trying to take the truth away from you, and even if we're not that into the truth, but even though you're a novice, you can still, if you know the truth, you can still get into it. You can still make out what they're trying to tell you. They're trying to take the truth away from you, basically. And I mean, if you know the truth, you can see all their hints, all that they're trying to cover up. I mean, at the schools, they say, well, it's not for this holiday, it's just for fun.
Right.
But you can still hint it. You can still see what they're trying to say. So, I mean, they're trying to cover it up.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Chocolate, when we look at this condition, obviously we're Hebrews. I mean, you haven't made that transition yet. But when you see the paradigm between materialism, we just had a football player, plenty of money, shoot himself and his girlfriend. So when we talk about the materialism that's centered around these holidays, I know you and I talked about it, and you say, well, you do it for the children. That's most of the excuse that most blacks, quote unquote, people in general use. But if we were children once and we found out it was a lie, why would we want to pass that same lie down to our children?
Well, basically, me, I wouldn't pass that down to my kids. I basically let them read behind the truth. When I was growing up, I went to school. I never stopped going to school. Now it's like, it's okay to drop out of school now, at the age of 15 or 16. So like now it's like education is lacking more and more.
Yes.
And basically what I tell people is read behind what you learn. Always go and find out what's really the basis behind what someone's teaching you.
Do your own research. Okay.
Yeah, because if a teacher tells you you can solve a problem only 3 ways, then try to solve that problem 7 or 10 different ways. Because, you know, then that's when you know you are testing your knowledge and you getting more wisdom and understanding behind a whole lot of things. And, you know, it's a lot of trick things going on, you know, with the programs and everything, like Gain the Guide. Oh, if you go buy Gain, this the better to wash your clothes. But if you go buy Guide, it smells more gooder or fresher. So it's like it's always, you know, always a gimmick to everything that they doing out here in the system. I say the system because, you know, it's like a path, a pantograph. Is everything is teaching you to do a certain thing. If I tell you to go buy this car, then you're gonna go buy that car because oh, I'm gonna save up this money to go buy this car.
Okay, well, let's go to the phone. 770-559-2999. Caller, are you with us? What is your name, question, or comment? Caller?
Yes, I am. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, you can hear me. I can't really hear you all, but anyway, I just want to ask the questions. What is the panel's feelings on these reality shows? Or do you know, I hear you all talking about The Matrix, and I would just like to know, does the young family over there and Miss Chocolate from DELUXE Entertainment and Minister over there, do they engage in looking at reality shows? And do you think reality shows, particularly Real Housewives of Atlanta, is detrimental or has a negative impact on the black community? Because as you know, there's a prominent civil rights leader's daughter on one of those reality shows, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't really watch the reality show that much, but she makes a fool out of herself. And I just want to know, do you think those shows make all people look bad, and do you think that's a part of the Matrix also? Thank you.
Absolutely. Excellent question. I'll start first off and say categorically, unequivocally, yes. I mean, the reality shows are the most base level of public programming that you're going to get, and they create certain profiles by bringing character traits that fit a certain image in on those reality programs. And they won't allow Hebrews like me or this family on those programs to discuss issues in retrospect to what blacks and others who are very animated and out of sorts, they want to show that so that they can really direct. It's really a mass media programming, and you're exactly right. The reality shows are at the focal point of it. Miss Chocolate, what do you think?
Yeah, basically it is set up that way. It's basically to brainwash you, to program you to, you know,
the stories
to, you know, normally if you let your child or your children watch a certain program, your child gonna end up starting gimmicking that program. That's why I actually let my kids only watch certain things when it comes to TV, because if you don't try to cater to that to your kids, because then they will. Now that's why kids now are going around killing their parents, and if you see nowadays people killing each other or doing certain things that you see that people are doing on TV, because now they gimmicking the TV and it's teaching them to do certain things.
Prince, what are your thoughts about reality shows?
Well, Gideon, I'm gonna say this. I, own, which is Oprah's program.
Okay.
I know that the reality shows are out there really, because if they didn't have them, some of our people wouldn't think.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Exactly.
What they do, they touch thought processes.
Okay. They tell you what to think.
To give you an idea.
Exactly.
To use your head.
Exactly. Okay.
Sister Ayala Van Sant.
Okay.
Her and I, years ago, worked for a drug program together.
Okay.
I worked under her husband at one facility,
okay,
and she worked at another facility.
Okay.
So when I see her, I know what she done been through.
Right.
And a lot of the things that she's saying, she's trying to touch base with feelings.
Well, now she did a talk show. Is a talk show considered a reality show?
In a sense, it is.
So you mean we doing a reality show right now?
here.
Lord, have mercy. Go ahead.
So, and the idea for the last 5 or 6, we've been out how long?
About 6, 7 years.
No, a little longer than that, right?
Right. Well, we've been doing shows for
a
20
long while.
years, you
so
know.
reality is this is what we're saying.
Exactly.
We're trying to get people to focus and think.
Exactly. That's right.
To get them back focused on the scriptures and support systems.
Okay.
And to learn how to get out this environment. The problem is the people are not listening.
Okay.
Okay? The people are not hearing from these reality shows. And they done fixed it up so where each reality show now is attacking the other one. So
well, that's what they do.
but that's not the purpose.
Right.
You know, what we should be gleaning from it is the information.
So in essence, before I get to the family, you saying that all reality shows are bad. Because they are, that would categorize this one as a bad one.
Right. But there's one more thing I want to say.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
In here it says, they traded their Torah for false beliefs and so denied themselves the cure for their malady, for their sickness.
Absolutely.
And that's the whole purpose.
Right.
Okay? And so when we talk about these reality shows, those that are giving direction back to a higher power, to the creator of the heaven and earth, be going right.
Let's see if we can take this call then before we go to the family. Welcome to the O Yah Program. What is your name, question, or comment? Caller? That would be you. Do we have that call? We don't hear him in the studio? Okay, let me go to the family. If we hear that caller, we'll bring them in. What are your thoughts about reality television? It seems by happenstance you happen to be on one. So it can't be all bad, can it?
Well, I think for the person who called in, your focus may be a little too narrow. Okay. Most television, I'm not trying to say I don't watch TV or any shows or anything like that, but the reality shows and most of your TV is controlled by who or what industry?
The government.
Who's controlling that?
Corporations.
That's like Ms. Chocolate was saying, that's a way to program you. Basically, it's desensitizing us, our people, everybody, as a matter of fact. It's desensitizing everybody. It's saying, it's okay to watch this, it's okay to do that, this is what people do, blah, blah, blah. But it's a way to distract you, and you just have to remember that.
Let's go back to the phone, 770-559-2999. In the waning minutes of the program, caller, talk to us, and don't be shy. Do we have a call? Do we have that caller? We don't hear in the studio? Okay. So we are back, and we're going out on this program. It has been a powerful program. We've dealt with a lot of subjects. You know, and in dealing with reality television, this is what we are, and this is what we are about. Because at the circumstances of dealing with our community, it has to do with a way of communicating. Mm-hmm. See, it was called with the white folks a good old boy network. They have a network. The network has never stopped. It's just that they stopped our network. So this is part of that network. What are your closing comments, Chocolate?
Well, basically, my closing comment is, everyone stay in prayer, stay in faith, and try for your dreams and your goals. Never give up, no matter what the situation may hold. And just stay positive and claim what you want. Whatever you claim, you can have. Just know that whatever you claim in life, you can have it.
Keep the faith.
Just keep the
Prince,
faith.
closing comment.
Closing comment is to return to Yah.
Yes, sir.
There's nothing else really to say.
Okay.
Okay, because as long as we keep trying to find issues and looking for other solutions, and when the solution is already prevalent,
right there in front
of our eyes, then hey.
All right. And closing comment, my beloved brother.
Like Elder said, we have to return back to Yah. You have to find out. You have to do some more studying. The G-O-D is not a name. So how can you say you love him if you don't even know his name?
Woo!
Find out, you know, don't just listen to what your pastor is telling you because they're telling you the wrong things. You have to get in that book. You have to study. And just return to Yah. That's what we have to do.
All right, we on the way out, boy. Let me tell you, he went out like Muhammad Ali, jabbing, didn't he? That truth ain't no joke. We love you. We appreciate you. We thank Yah for you. We're here for you. This is why our purpose is fulfilled. The testimony is Yah, His word. It ain't about the book. It is about how we treat each other. It's not about a natural thing. It's pure spirit. And love is pure. And Yah is love. And it is law. Yah be with you. Our blessings too. Hope to see you next week. Peace in the Middle East, in your hearts, and right here. We out.
Why? I lay here hoping that the night taught our lessons and the day brings blessings and change. That I find answers for our guessing game and success stops looking so strange. Should I mention that I piece may forward another time, like when our wallet feels less stress? Now this mess got I sizing separated fantasies. God, I wishing I wasn't dipping freedom's wishes in these dishes mixed with witches. Wide awake and hoping, separated, desperate and groping. See the situation far surpassing imagination. Are you grasping the sensation of falling out of time? Stay a while and fantasize. Determine if you criticize the weight, the desperation got you chasing. Not to mention the abrasion of nearly grazing near your family tree. It's a disease that's inherent from line to line. So I have to check myself from time to time and see if black fire is satisfied to see a limited sunrise. Grief done to the mourning child, born of scorn for dormant eyes that failed to see past the passion of lonely lust. And forgot to trust intuition back to the wise. Sacrifice sacred lives for twisted separation into